Hey guys, today we'll be learning about Google Maps and speech recognition. So by now you should have all received comments on your final project proposals. They all look great and we're very excited to see what you can make. So the schedule for today is to learn how to use a Google Maps API, how to use the microphone, and also Google's voice text recognition API. Before we begin, you want to make sure that your emulator actually supports Google Play API because this is necessary for Google Maps to work well. So the way you check is by going to Tools and then AVD Manager. So if your emulator has a Play button underneath the Play Store, that means that it supports Google Play API. You can also see it over here. So we can see that some emulators don't have the Play Store button, which means they don't support it. So you want one of these. Yeah. Then next, and you can click Finish. So the next step is to create a Google Maps activity. I like to make it using like the automated process by going to New, Activity, Gallery, and then scrolling to Google Maps activity, next, finish. So once you do that, which I already did, you get taken to this page. So this is where you want to store your API key. And to get an API key, you want to follow the instructions right here. So you just go to this link, control click. Let's wait a tiny bit. So at this step, you want to make sure you're logged in. Usually, if your Seeds account might work, sometimes it might not. Really depends. So let's see if this works. I agree. So sometimes your Seeds account won't let you make new projects, but if you use your personal account, it definitely will let you do that. All right, so next you want to create an API key. I already have a couple, but you could make new ones. So I can make a new API key. There we go. Copy it. And then you want to paste it right here. There we go. So after we add API, we can take a look at the maps activity file. We have a map activity that extends a onMap ready callback. So this function basically requires you to have a onMap ready function, and this is all pre-generated for you. But this gets called when your Google Map is ready. So once it's all loaded up and ready, it's going to run whatever that's in here. So in here, we set our map variable to be the map that was loaded. And then we add a marker in Sydney. So to do that, we have to create a latitude and longitude coordinate object. And then we can use the add marker function to set up the position of the marker and also give it a title. So the title is what shows up when you click on the marker. And finally, we can move our camera to any coordinate that we want to. So when all that is done, this is what you should see. So this is what the pre-generated code gives you. So you can see when we click on the marker, it says marker in Sydney. And this also takes you directly to Sydney. So that's interesting, but we also want to be able to get our own location. So to do that, you have to first check for permissions, just to be safe, and see if you already have access to find location. So find location is the specific location of your device. So I just wrote a function called setupMap, and whatever else I'm going to do, I'm going to add in here. So I'm just using an if statement to check if we already have permission for access find location, and if not, we're going to request for that permission. So it's the same thing that we've been doing for camera, gallery, and so on. So I'm going to call this function in map ready, and let's comment out the rest of this. All right, so the next thing is we have to extend our maps activity by some abstract activities, abstract classes. So the two that we're going to use is on my location button click listener and on my location click listener. So we're going to extend it, and you can see that Android Studio is not happy with me because I have to implement this function. So this function is part of the on my location button click listener. So what exactly is on my location button? Well, after you implement everything, you're going to have a button that's up here that you can click and will take you directly to your location. So to first do anything, we need to add this button to our map. Just like how we had to manually add the marker onto the map, we have to also manually add the button. So to do that, we just need to say, is my location enabled to be true? And then we also have to set up the click listener. So if we only do this, and well, this won't run yet because maps activity isn't happy that we didn't implement this class. So we're gonna just quickly do that first. So our app will actually run. So we implemented two other functions that we had to override. And let's run this. Okay, so see how this button appears as soon as I set is my location able to be true. But when you click it, there we go, it takes you to your location. So the default location for your emulator should be in, it should be the Googleplex in Mountain View, but I changed my emulator's location to Penn, and I'll show you how to change your location later. So right now when you click it, it just takes you over here. You can also set up your little button to do other things than just take you to your location. So inside on my location button click, I added a toast that says my location button is clicked. So if I set the click listener of this button to be this, then this toast should show up. So to do that, I just add this line. So I say that the click listener will be this function. We're gonna run. Okay, so now when we click this, we should see a toast. There we go. My location button clicked. So you could also add on my location click. This should do something when you click on your location, but just like how we had set up the click necessary for the actual button, we also have to do the same thing for my location. So I do does set on my location click listener, and we're going to pass in this because I wrote a function as part of this activity. And run. See? So it shows you the okay, it shows you your current location, which is just gibberish right now. It's a little, there we go. That showed up. So this refers to this line. So after all that, this is what you get. So the next thing is we want to be able to change our emulator settings to, different places in the world. To do that, we click on the three dots in the bottom. And so the first tab is location, and that's the location of your emulator. And you can change this to whatever you want. We're gonna go with 10 and just see what happens. Let's click here. And this takes me to I have no idea where this is. Oh wow, Colombia. So say we want to actually go somewhere else. Let's go with Paris. Oops. Paris. Latitude, longitude. So this is latitude. Longitude. Let's click send and take us to Paris. That's pretty cool. There we go. And we're in Paris. So if you want to test different locations when you're making your final project, then you can change it over here. If you have an actual phone, that's even better. You can just walk around. But here's a quick and easy way. So now we're going to add in places search. So what exactly it is Google Google has a wide range of Google Maps APIs, and one of them is places, which allows you to pretty much, add in different places like Starbucks, merchants, and so on. And what we want to do is autocomplete. Basically, we want to zip that link. It's kind of ugly. There you go. Autocomplete. So we want to add in a search bar so we can, search for different places nearby. To do that, we need to first add in the places dependency. So you want to make sure that you add in the version that works best for you. So for me, it's 2.2.0. Let's let that sync. All right. And then we have to initialize places inside our activity. So I'm going to do that right here. Oops. So this just initializes places using our Google Maps API key. And then we create a places client, which will basically run and find places for us in the backend. So next we want to add an autocomplete fragment. Well, before I do that, I want to change my app so I have like a little search bar on top. So I'm gonna make a, I'm not gonna close that real quick. There you go. Gonna make a linear layout. So Android layout orientation. This will be vertical. And layout height. So, and then going in here, this is where I'm gonna put my map fragment. And let's let this height be, we're gonna map parent. Okay, so we have a linear layout. We have our map fragment. And now I'm also going to add in the autocomplete fragment. Don't worry about this. It's gonna complain, but it's fine. Okay. So let's see what this looks like. So while I was running, we ran into an error. It says manifest merger fail. MinSDK version 15 cannot be smaller than version 16 to declare in the Google Maps library. So in case you run into this problem, you just need to go up here and change this. Change your MinSDK version. And if you sync it, it should be okay. Okay. We're gonna try running again. And I usually pause the recording while I wait, so you guys don't have to wait with me. Okay, it's finished running now. And we see that nothing has happened. That's because we didn't initialize the autocomplete fragment. Remember, every time you use a fragment, you have to initialize it somehow. So here's a code for doing that. This is all just taken from Google. I did not write this. You can also copy and paste from Google if you want. Okay. So we're gonna have to import some things. It's having a hard time finding. Come on. Okay, we can just directly type in the import. Believe. Oh, there we go. Okay, it's finally me all import. Come on. And one more. Yes, I want to. Okay. Oops. Complete. I'm gonna move this up because it seems like I might have missed a bracket somewhere. Yeah, I definitely missed it somewhere. Oh, there we go. This is okay. So all of this code is taken directly from here. This is adding the autocomplete and place selection listener to the activity. So this is adding the search bar on top. Okay, now that I've added it, it should show up. Okay, so it didn't show up. That means there's probably something wrong with our layout. I'm gonna look at design real quick. So I see that this fragment isn't showing up, which means there really is something wrong with the way I'm using my layout and my layout width. So what I'm going to do is just quickly add in another linear layout because ultimately I want to add in more buttons to my search bar anyways. I'm gonna let this be wrap content and match parent. And then put this inside. So see if this fixes things. Go on design. Okay, it looks like my fragment is showing up. They both are. Okay. So now the map isn't showing up because the search bar is taking up all the space. So I'm going to do match parent wrap content. Because it looks like the search bar height is too long because it was match parent, so it's taking up the entire screen. Let's go to design. Okay, now it looks okay. So that's the search bar, and this is the map below it. So a bit of trial and error. Okay, there we go, much better. So say we want to search for Starbucks. So this is my current location. So Google is actually getting my house location. But let's click on that. So it won't actually take us anywhere because we didn't set up our fragment to take us anywhere, but we could do that. So you can also do other things in here on place selected, like for example, placing a marker on the map where you selected the place, and also this is for handling errors. So there are a lot of things you can do with the autocomplete fragment. Regarding map, there are also other cool things you could do. So one example is drawing different polygons to represent areas. Documentation is over here. You can also create stylized maps. There's different themes that's available, and you can also make your own custom theme. You can also add in heat maps. So pretty cool things. Now we're gonna just quickly go over speech recognition. So Google has made a recognizer intent, and these are the docs for it. Basically, it allows you to recognize speech through an intent. Now, this doesn't work on emulators and only work on physical Android devices, so I can't show you a demo, but I can show you the code for doing it. So basically is you want to trigger an intent called recognizer intent. It's like how we trigger a camera for like the camera intent and then gallery intent for getting pictures from the gallery. So the same idea. So for example, you can have a button where you click and it's going to trigger this intent, and this intent will open up this little pop-up here that asks you to say something. And then after that, we use an onActivity result to get the result. And you can use data get string ArrayList extra recognizer intent. So you could get the results of that intent, and then this will basically give you the text version of what you just said. So I highly recommend that you check it out. It's pretty cool. Just you gotta have an Android device to check it out. So other things you could do, there's also speech recognizer, and this like literally transcribes from speech to text. So it's pretty cool. It also listens in the background. So you can look at the docs for that. There's also media recorder, which is, it allows for like basic recording functionality. So say you want to record audio of like your notes or something, that's what you can use. Basically you can actually just look at the documentation for how to add it in. But basically you need to have permission to record audio, and there are two different functions, start recording, stop recording, that you can use to start and stop recording it. You can just copy and paste this into your code to use it. It's not too hard, but sometimes this works on emulators, most times it doesn't. So this works best if you have your own Android device. So that's it for today. I hope you had some fun, and we'll use some of the stuff in your final projects. Thanks, and have a nice weekend.